Hi, I'm Sumit Lakhotia and you're watching Supertech Presents Real Estate TV. First, a look at this week's news updates on the real estate sector. Now, the recent earthquake that shook Nepal on April 25th with a magnitude of 7.8 on the Richter scale has set off alarm bells ringing far and wide. Concerns have been raised on haphazard urban growth all across the country. Since Delhi NCR comes under seismic zone 4, concerns have also been raised about the safety standards of high-rise buildings. To this, the realtors body CREDAI on Monday clarified that the developers in the National Capital Region are adhering to all safety norms to ensure structural strength of the buildings are as per the prescribed norms. The industry body further said that Delhi NCR region did not witness any damage to buildings despite heavy tremors. Stringent approval mechanisms are in place to meet the highest safety standards comprising of 3 layers of approval. Slapped with a 26 crore rupee fine by SEBI, realty giant DLF last week said that the markets regulator will not enforce payment of the penalty till the company's appeal against the order is pending. SEBI in October last year barred DLF and its 6 top executives, including Singh and his 2 children, from markets for 3 years for suppressing key information at the time of its IPO in 2007, including certain sham transactions involving an associate firm, Sudipti Estates. DLF, the country's largest real estate developer with a land bank of about 300 million square feet, has also faced regulatory problems earlier with Fair Trade watchdog CCI. Indian Independent and Professional Investment Information and Credit Rating Agency ICRA in a report said that the centre's recent focus on affordable housing for all could push overall home loan growth to 20 to 22% this fiscal year. The affordable segment has seen a growth of 17% in the last 9 months of 2014-2015. The report also said that the housing finance market has crossed the 10 lakh crore rupees mark as of December 31st, 2014. To continue this trend and reach 20 to 22% growth over the next 5 years, ICRA estimates that HFCs will need external capital infusion of around 18,000 to 28,000 crore rupees. The government's focus on affordable housing and the recent favourable regulations could serve as a catalyst towards the revival of the overall real estate sector. This week we have a special report on the affordable housing segment initiated by HUDA all across Haryana. India is a country with a population of over 120 crore. After 7 decades of independence, nearly 1/4 of this population still live in extreme poverty. With India's urban population expected to reach about 81 crore by 2050, housing for all sure becomes a serious issue.
Because our country is developing and there is a shift from agrarian society to urbanization, and since agriculture cannot give you that kind of return which can sustain a modern lifestyle, so people have to move. People will continue to come. By 2040, over 50% of India's population would have shifted to the cities.
If you look at the data from McKinsey's report, and there are several other reports of credibility, you will find that we are talking about by 2030, 50% of India's population will be urbanized. How to ensure that this population has a good quality of life and lives in a healthy, progressive environment requires serious urbanization thought.
In India, there is a shortage of about 22 million units with housing which is required. Out of 22 million housing units which are required, 15 million or 17 million units are required by the poor people, and about 6-7 million units are required by the urbanized population.
Nothing can happen without PPP in our country. If government could give housing to all, then these slums and these illegal unauthorized colonies all across the country would not have happened.
Poor people, they are looking for an housing unit like 350 square feet area, 500 square feet area, 600 square feet area, so that they can get better quality of life. They can get a very good shelter where you have sewers, you have water, you have electricity, you have all other amenities which are being provided to a good housing unit.
Majority of people of our country don't have their own house. So there's a massive demand, especially in the low-end area. And this cannot be fulfilled by the government alone, because people expect the government will, construct these houses. It has to be done with partnership with the private sector.
While the central government also has a vision on affordable housing, and Mr. Modi has been constantly talking about it. So we are now waiting and watching in terms of how the central government will also encourage and be part of the affordable housing initiative.
The president, the current government understands that the importance and the role of real estate in contribution to the GDP, and they are actually working towards making this more effective. Also, I must say, in their wisdom, they are looking at ways to rationalize pricing. So the only way to rationalize pricing is to unleash supply, and they're doing just that.
The commitment to have housing for all by 2022 is the vision of the new government at the centre. The Haryana government, however, did envision this stream way back in 2013 when they floated schemes inviting private builders to participate and build low-cost housing colonies approved by the Town and Country Planning Department of Haryana.
I will compliment Haryana that this was one of the first states to, whatever extent they could, to start affordable housing policy.
This was initiated in July 2013, and you would be surprised that till date in Gurgaon and Sona region of Haryana, about 35-40 licenses have already been issued by the Haryana government, and the developers have really come out to make the affordable housing a dream come true.
It is for the first time technically where a public-private partnership has been announced. There are about 500 licenses which they will issue in various parts of Haryana, which includes also Faridabad, some locations of Gurgaon and a few other locations.
There is a complete policy on place which states how much should be the size of individual units, which states what amenities are to be provided for, which states that what services are to be given, and in how much time it has to be completed.
And under this policy, they increase the FAR from 175 to 225. They increase the density also to 850 to 900. So more and more houses could be created in the same piece of land.
One is a little skeptical about how this would pan out, because we are not really certain whether the fact that there are also private developers involved, will they try and manipulate this process to once again create the speculative activity which has actually been plaguing NCR as a market.
If the government goes in the same pace, then I think in Haryana itself, not in Haryana, in Gurgaon and Sona belt itself, which may include your Sonipat or maybe Panipat, they would contribute at least about 3 to 4 lakhs units.
In this affordable scheme, Haryana government has given the waiver for external development charges and internal development charges, because there was a huge amount which was directly affecting to the affordable people. So they have given the facility not to charge from the buyer.
The affordable housing by 2022, that's a very big challenge, I would say, because giving these kind of numbers would require a lot of resources. Now the resources the government cannot muster. The government will have to have people from various walks of life, maybe a small investor, maybe a small developer, maybe a big developer, but he should be in a position to contribute towards the shortage which is there.
Under the Huda Affordable Housing Scheme, the Haryana government issued licenses to as many as 23 developers to build affordable housing projects in the Millennium City of Gurgaon itself.
Looking this mission of this government, housing for all by 2022, so there is a big challenge for the government how to provide those so much houses to in the affordable range.
Basera is our affordable housing project, which consists of 12 acres of land, and we have about 1976 units which are planned, and we got a very overwhelming response from Basera.
It starts from 40 square meter to 60 square meter. That means 400 to 600 square feet area. And this scheme, this is applicable for everybody. Anybody can buy the houses, but there is a condition. He should have only one houses in this area. He cannot buy the two houses.
We started about 3 months back ad campaign as per the policy, and we closed just on 20th of April, and we have received, as against 1976 applications, as against 1976 flats, we have received 5,000 applications. Now we have to go for the draw.
Most of the people who's not having the houses in Gurgaon, they have got the good opportunity for this project.
The total investment of Supertech in Haryana is more than 2,500 crores, and then they have taken an exposure of 2 townships and group housing scheme to the scale of about 70 acres. When I say 70 acres means it looks very small, but when you start constructing, then this is one of the biggest area in Haryana.
You see, we have observed in the last 2-3 years in Gurgaon, the cost of the apartment is very high. So only the high people, high class people, only the luxury class people, yeah, high net worth income people, only there was the options for them, and there was no options for the affordable and mid segment.
In addition to this, we have another project which is in the foothills of Aravallis, is known as Hilltown, which is spread over 140 acres of land. This is a contiguous land of 140 acres, on which we have planned for the integrated township, which will have villas, which will have floors, which will have group housing scheme, which will have commercial area, which will have club. Dedicated club only for the population of the township.
How to bring the cost of construction down, we need to work out on this issue. So there is a big challenge. So I think if we give some technology to the constructions, then we can reduce the cost of constructions. Like this, we have started the precast technology. By means of these arrangements and any other technology which is required to bring down the cost of construction.
Affordable in the sense, if you compare Hilltown with Gurgaon, it's a relative term, because Hilltown is in Sona, but just 10 kilometers away from Gurgaon. In Gurgaon, we are selling at 7,000 rupees a square foot, but there we are selling at 4,500 rupees a square foot. That is why we call this as affordable. You move a little distance, you get it at half the price.
This scheme, I think it's a very good scheme in this Gurgaon, because earlier there was a so huge rate, so massive rate in this area. The people was not in a position to buy the flat in this Gurgaon region. So looking the all circumstances and looking the affordability, this government has bring this policy to develop this affordable group housing.
Laying down policy guidelines and framework is essential. However, understanding ground realities, identifying bottlenecks and doing away with redundant clauses is the only way forward.
There's so much pain that we people have on a day-to-day basis, which we want government to understand, which we want our customers to understand, which we want the media to understand. So there are so many things still lacking.
There are many challenges for affordable housing also. The challenges are actually for all real estate segments. But we wanted that affordable housing at least could be taken out of that ambit so that you can actually reduce the cost.
While you're doing construction, there's so many authorities. Before you start construction, while construction is going on, after the construction, the whole approval and process is tough. Cost of money is very high.
Health services, infrastructure related, electricity connections, environment clearances. There's so many clearances which you still have to do in affordable housing. They're similar. at least for affordable housing, you should put that online.
हम तो बंधे हुए हैं. We have to deliver within the stipulated time of 3 years. However, if the authorities fail to provide the basic infrastructure, will we be able to deliver?
हमें नहीं मालूम अभी.
Especially the sector roads and your main trunk sewer and water. These are the issues which are being taken up with the government, coupled with your supply of water and your electricity.
We create housing which is more time consuming in 3 years. Government fails to create a road outside and give a water line to that for even 7 years.
In India, we have constantly been laying services for capacity which probably existed 10 years back. Whereas the services have to be laid for capacity which you think will happen over next 30 or a 40-year period.
Keep on counting. There are so many taxes and thereafter it starts cesses.
Even though low-cost housing may be a new model for the government, past exposure clearly signals that we need to get our basics right.
The fact is that you're doing something which is in a backward location and is not backed by infrastructure, and then it again becomes a vicious circle, because most of the people who actually tend to take positions in these projects would either be investors or long-term end users.
If the authorities fail to provide the basic infrastructure in time, such projects will become unviable and unattractive for the builders.
There should be a proper national data bank which should be linked to Aadhaar, or which should be linked to a similar system of Aadhaar for a national data bank, that this person who was in X colony in Mumbai as a slum dweller has already been given, this family has already been given a flat under the policy by government's hand-holding. Now when he goes and wants to take another one, it should be a national platform. As he puts his thumb impression and irises for his family, the system prompts, tells, no, he has already taken.
See, times are changing, and people are making a noise, the consumers making a noise, that why should I have to have a human interface when I have to get my plan sanctioned, when I have to get permission done. I don't want to meet any human being wherein I'll be asked for money. So every state government is facing the same kind of outburst from public. There's an outcry. So all state governments are very, very open to implementing a single window clearance system, wherein the physical interaction in the whole process is absolutely minimum.
Good project management is really important. And like you said, that how to ensure the quality which is promised is delivered, and therefore project management supervision is really important. Costing has to be done right. A lot of times I feel even the basic costing gets, it's not done right, because if you're doing a construction, the project may take 3 to 4 years to complete. So one has to really price it right, do the costing right, because in 3-4 years after taking inflation, and sometimes you have to really make sure the projects get completed on time.
Land has a cost. Sky has no cost. You can go vertical.
Allow 3 FAR, 3.5 FAR, but in the smaller areas, go vertically up. If that is the case, then what will happen is, then more of density can be accumulated, more of flats can be accumulated in smaller areas. So the green areas can be conserved.
In many states, the FAR norms are just 100. So that means in 1 acre of land, you can create housing for just 100 people.
The government should really give as many incentives as possible for the developers to come forward. Now this could be from tax point of view, give them as many tax stops. It could also be reducing taxes for input of cement, steel, other inputs which are there to construct low-cost housing. It could be also facilitating long-term funding at lower cost if someone is doing development, low-cost housing development, and also helping them getting approvals faster, or whatever, giving infrastructure status, so that again which will hopefully reduce the cost of money.
A lot needs to be done. I won't say I'm happy. A lot needs to be a single window clearance, like one thing you said. This will cut short so much time in the whole process of execution and delivery.
Starting with the process of land acquisition, which has to be a more seamless process of acquisition, then subsidies on construction cost, and then followed by the availability of loans to the buyers at more discounted rates, which is currently not the case.
Increase the duration of the repayment, reduce the interest rates for low cost housing, and also reduce the down payment, because lot of the times people who can afford or who want that low cost housing can afford the EMIs, but they don't have the money to pay down payment. So reduce that down payment.
So states have to wake up and become more active to the fact that they have to become sellers.
If you look at the number of industries which are tied to construction and for housing, especially from steel, cement, wood, glass, so many people get employed. It will give push to our manufacturing also if there's a big boom in construction on the low cost housing.
More the houses, more the developers, more the competition, the lesser will be the price.